I'm Lori and I love books, and today is day 8 of my 12 Flocks of Christmas, and I'm going to review my favorite book from each month of 2021. So there will be 12 books total. So my first book is from January. In January I read 5 books, and my favorite of those 5 was Wild Embers, Poems of Rebellion, Fire, and Beauty by Nikita Gill. This is a book about poetries of survival, of overcoming trauma. This is the second book I read of hers, and I really enjoy her writing style, and I gave this 4 stars out of 5. In February, I read 6 books, and my favorite was The Castle of Tingled Magic by Sophie Anderson. I read this as part of a book club I was in at the time, and I gave it 4 stars. It's about a young girl who lives in a castle with her family, and suddenly the magic is starting to get loose, and she has to save her family, the nearby town, and a bunch of magical creatures. And it's a very fun book. I was very glad I found that, and that was 4 stars. In March, I read The Red Door Inn. I got this in my Grace and Delilah box, and it's by Liz Johnson, and this is of a young lady, maybe mid-30s, who wants to go to Prince Edward's Island, but she doesn't have any money, and an older gentleman who's probably in his 70s strikes up a conversation with her. He's opening an inn, and he wants to hire her as his interior decorator. It was a very beautiful book. It's also a series, so I hope to get more books in this series by this author. And I gave it 5 stars. I was really happy with this book. In April, I read 9 books, and Entwined was my favorite of those by Heather Dixon. It's a take on the 12 Dancing Princesses. Basically, the mother dies on the Yule Ball the night of. And the king decides to leave instead of staying with his daughters. And the daughters are like, he broke the rules, we're going to break the rules. And when they break the rules, it starts to have consequences that they didn't foresee. And so it's a very interesting book about magic, and is also about grief and loss and trying to cope with that. So, very interesting book. In May, I read 8 books, and my favorite of those was Mary Poppins from A to Z by P.L. Travers. I did a whole series of Mary Poppins books, if you didn't see. And this is an alphabet book where each page has an illustration, and then it goes through a little story based on the letter. So this is D is for dinner, and then there's a lot of other words starting with a letter D: dumplings, difficult, day, disgrace, do, daddy, delightful dinner. So it's a very good book on alliteration and letters, and you don't see a lot of older alphabet books, so I was really happy to find this one, and I gave it 4 stars. In June, I read 16 books, 1-6, because I had a lot of time and I had a lot of things I was doing. I did 2 book ventures, one on a train and one at a zoo. And of those 16 books, my favorite was The 100 Dresses by Eleanor Estes. This is illustrated by Louis Slobodkin. And this is about 3 young girls that go to school together. 2 are friends, and the other one's kind of being made fun of because she keeps talking about having 100 dresses, even though she only ever wears the same dress every day. And so it's a kind of simple story, but it has so much meaning to it. And this was one of the books I had chosen for my Children's Classics Club, and there's a reason I have a Children's Classics Club, because I do love children's classics a lot, and I gave this 4 stars. In July, I only read 3 books, so quite a difference between June and July. And the favorite of those was The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. So another classics children's book. And this is a story of 4 friends, Mr. Rat and Mr. Mole, Mr. Badger and Mr. Toad, and their adventures on the riverbank. And it's a very good book. I actually have another edition that I bought that I hope to read soon. In July, that was July, and I gave that 4 stars. And then in August, I only read 3 books, and my favorite of those was The Mad Gardener's Song by Lewis Carroll. This is the song that starts off Sylvie and Bruno, which then has a second book, Sylvie and Bruno Concluded. And this is just like a very silly, playful song, lots of illustrations, which I love. And so that was my favorite of those 3. In September, and I didn't put that on Goodreads because I wasn't putting picture books on, so I don't really have a rating for that one. Oh no, just glitched a little. So in September, I have Fairy Haven and the Quest for the Wand. This is a Disney book by Gail Carson Levine, and it's Tinkerbell and her friends trying to go and get a wand to help save Fairy Haven. And it was a good adventure. I do believe there's a movie based on this book, and I gave it 3 stars. So even though it was very cute, it also had some issues, I think. In October, I read 6 books, and my favorite of those was Escape from Hat by Adam Klein and Brian Taylor. And this is a book about 2 bunnies that have been trapped in a magic hat, and they're trying to escape. There's black cats are in charge of the magic hat right now, and the tower that can get them out, basically. And so it's the bunnies against the black cats. Good luck bunnies, bad luck black cats. The ending was perfect. 5 stars. Highly recommend. You need a good laugh. This is a book for a good laugh. In November, I read 10 books, and my favorite was Christmas Carol, another children's classics book. And this is the classic tale of Mr. Scrooge, who on Christmas night is visited by 3 ghosts, or Christmas Eve. And he has to kind of learn from the ghosts in order to become the better person. And that was by Charles Dickens, and I gave it 5 stars. And then in December, I only read 3 books, and my favorite was Disney, The Nutcracker and the 4 Realms, a center stage pop-up book. I had shown this in an earlier video, and maybe if I had read more books, this wouldn't have been the favorite, but the other books were like Matchless, which I didn't really like, and The Cat Who Came for Christmas, which I liked, but it, I don't know that it would be my favorite book. And so, because this is a picture book, I didn't rate it either. And so, of all these books, my favorites of the year, number 5 would be The Wind in the Willows. So that's number 5. My 4th favorite book was Entwined. And my 3rd favorite book was The Red Door Inn. And my 2nd favorite book was, for the whole entire year, was Christmas Carol. And my favorite book of 2021 is Escape from Hat. So those are my favorite books of the year, as well as some that I just enjoyed reading. Let me know in the comments what favorite books you found this year. And until next time, I hope you have a lovely time reading. Bye!